In March, we went to a temple that encompassed the entire city. Stay tuned if you want to hear more about Sri Rangam. Roll the intro. What's up, temple nerds? It's me, Prema. Welcome back to my channel. In this segment, we talk about temples and stuff. Last year in March, I took a 2.5-week pilgrimage with my family. It was intense, but a blast. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 yet, where we went to Puri and Tirupati, feel free to check it out. Now, let's talk about leaving Tirupati and going to Sri Rangam. There is a train that runs on Saturdays from Tirupati to Sri Rangam. It only runs on Saturdays. And my mom really wanted to see what first class on an Indian train was like, even though I told her it's not really that great. So while we waited at the train station, we found that there was a waiting room. And I always see waiting rooms at train stations, but I never went inside. So we decided to just go check it out and see what it is. Basically, depending on how long you're staying in the room, you pay some small amount of money, not a ton, and you can wait for your train in a freezing cold AC room, which felt so good on a hot day. You can buy snacks, there are clean bathrooms, they even have a movie playing and you can sort of just lounge. They have like lounge seating available. So that spoiled me. And I never again will wait with the normies, just waiting outside. I liked that a waiting room was available, and it wasn't too bad of a price either. So while we were in Tirupati, Mani, remember our driver Mani, I said, don't forget his name. His name is Mani. So Mani offered to drive us around for our South India leg of our trip. Mani spoke the language, he knows places, and he's actually proven himself to be quite trustworthy. So while we took the train, Mani took his car and picked us up when we arrived at Sri Rangam.
I don't know where we are.
We stayed at the Hotel Sri Hayagriva. It was good, clean, simple. The owner was very no-nonsense, which I liked, and they had a vegetarian restaurant attached to the back of the hotel. It was good. It wasn't like the 5-star places, but it was nice. It was clean. We had only one day in Sri Rangam, and I was ready as soon as we got there to go to the temple and see the sights of Sri Rangam, especially since the temple closes around 8-ish, but everyone else wanted to eat. So we found a restaurant, and it turns out the devotee who runs it lived in Mayapur at one point, and he was like a week into managing it. The prasadam was simple but tasty and filling. And random, but something I noticed was that the interior was made of stone, which makes me wonder how old the building was. Like, so the outside was plastered and whatever, but when you look inside, there's the, what is it called? The load-bearing pillars, I guess, and they're all made of stone. So makes me think that it was a very, very old structure turned into a little, set of shops and restaurants. Anyway, by the time we finished eating, we didn't have time to see Ranganathaswamy. So I was pretty disappointed. But Mani must have seen my disappointment, and he said he wanted to take us somewhere really special that was close by. And he was right. The Jambukeshwar Temple was so cool. The architecture was so intricate, so beautiful. Now, there are 5 Lord Shiva temples in South India, each representing one of the 5 elements. Srikalhasti that we visited in Tirupati is a manifestation of air, and Jambukeshwar is a manifestation of water. The Jambukeshwar Temple is significant because Parvati Devi came here to perform austerity in a forest of jambu fruit trees. She made the Shiva Lingam here out of the water from the Kaveri River. There's another story about 2 disciples of Lord Shiva who constantly fought with each other in Kailash. They eventually cursed each other to be an elephant and a spider. They worshipped this Shiva Lingam but still continued to fight with each other, and eventually the spider crawled up the elephant's trunk and bit it, thus killing the elephant. Lord Shiva was pleased with their devotion and relieved them from their curse except for the spider, who had to be born again to atone for killing the elephant. So the spider was born as King Kochingat Chola, who built this very temple. They say that when he built the temple, he made the doorway to the Garbhagriha, or the inner sanctum where the deity resides, so small that not even a baby elephant could fit through it, which is like kind of like a final like one-up in the fight between the spider and the elephant. I thought that was pretty funny. And it's true, like when we were going through that Garbhagriha, it was a very, very tight fit. I mean, y'all know I'm elephant size, so it was tight for me and you had to kind of duck low. A stream runs under this temple, and this Shiva Lingam is partially submerged inside. This temple was built in 600 BCE, which is amazing to still be standing after millennia. And one really cool fact is that they say Lord Shiva worked with the laborers to build one of the walls. And I just like, when I think about that, it's like so far out. Like I've never heard of like a deity being part of the history of a temple, like literally coming down to be involved in building a temple or doing something like that. So it was just like, I don't know, it was like just remarkable to like have witnessed such ancient architectures, to really see like our Vedic tradition in the real world. I mean, like, how is it that Lord Shiva has built something that I can physically see with my eyes? And it's like, and it's there, you know, the writing in a lot of temples in South India. I noticed that they write the history of the temple on the wall, and it's literally Lord Shiva built this wall. You know how some people are like, so-and-so was here? It's like, Lord Shiva built this. So our driver, Mani, my boy, my homes, Mani asked me what I thought about the Jambukeshwar Temple. And I told him that I was in absolute amazement. And he said very proudly, Mariji, this is our India, you know? And I thought it was so sweet how proud he was of our country and our culture. So the next day we had two goals. I wanted to see where Lord Chaitanya stayed when he came here, and I wanted to finally see Ranganathaswamy. So my husband, Padmavati, and I went to find the place where Lord Chaitanya had stayed when he came to Sri Rangam. At first we went with money in the car, but the traffic was insane. Like many old towns in India, the roads are extremely narrow, and it was a busy, busy morning, and we couldn't find the temple. Very congested. It's kind of like Navadwip with ever so slightly bigger roads. Oh, people out here hitting our car. We can't pass. It's so busy. Oh Lord. It's busy everywhere. There's just people everywhere. Oh Lord. I just wanted to go take darshan. So we completely abandoned money and we tried searching on foot. We found the ISKCON temple, which I thought would be a safe haven, but they were doing Guru Puja for a large picture of a guru that I will not name. And they had like a tiny little, like a little picture of Srila Prabhupada sitting on the ledge, which was very, very weird to me. Like I had half a mind in that moment to take a video of it and send it to like some GBC people. Like I'm not sure who's in charge of Sri Rangam, like who oversees Sri Rangam, but it felt kind of weird to see that them worshiping this guru and giving Srila Prabhupada kind of an improper spot. So it was really weird to me, and we yeeted out of there super fast because it was too weird. Then we took a rickshaw. So far we tried with money, we tried on foot, and now we're taking a rickshaw. And the driver couldn't find Jagannath Mutt either. And after an hour of driving and asking around, we finally found it. I wanted to see this deity, this Jagannath Mutt. And we've been driving for an hour and a half. It's gotten to a point where we've abandoned our car. We went to ISKCON. They have some weird thing going on that I don't really subscribe to. We're not going to talk about it here. And we got to the temple finally, with a tuk-tuk, and it was locked. And then they told us to find the pujari. So the pujari is supposedly on the way to find this Jagannath temple. So that's true. You can eat a carrot on that side.
I just went to the dentist.
Okay, keep your shoes here.
Now, Jagannath Mutt is significant because Lord Chaitanya spent 4 months here during Chaturmasya. out of separation for Lord Jagannath, he carved these deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, and I was absolutely in awe of being able to see Krishna through the eyes of Lord Chaitanya. Like, this is literally what he sees when he looks at Lord Krishna, when he looks at Lord Jagannath. He sees this beautiful little sweet form. And for me, like, being able to stand there in the presence of this deity was well worth all the struggle and all the searching.
4 months, and he was worshipped Lord Jagannath and Ranganath. Daily he worshipped
Jagannath and go to the Ranganath temple.
During Chaturmasya.
Chaturmasya, right? It was during Chaturmasya. Wow.
What are these deities made of? Wood? Wood.
Daru.
Oh, the Daru Brahma? Oh, there's wood for Daru Brahma. Can something hold on? Thank you. Namo Padre, Namo Padre. Then go back to my house.
I got sugar.
Yay, you must be so happy. Then we headed back out to our hotel, gathered up the rest of our family, checked out, and we went to see Ranganathaswamy. The temple of Ranganathaswamy is dated to at least 100 BCE. However, it is mentioned in ancient texts like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. It is old. It is said that Sri Rangam emerged during the churning of the milk ocean as an airplane. Sri Rangam was brought to Satyaloka, and then King Ikshvaku relocated it to Ayodhya. Lord Ram is his descendant, and so then he gave it to Vibhishan after killing Ravan. And Vibhishan left the airplane right here in Tiruchi. Ranganathaswamy means the Lord of the Assembly, and he is lying down, peacefully smiling, ready to listen to the prayers of the devotees who come to see him.
The south gate. That's the Gopuram behind me. South gate of the Sri Ranganathaswamy Temple. So far at this entrance, I'm able to use my phone, but they'll eventually make me give it up. So they say that this is the biggest functioning temple in the world. And the deity is self-manifested deity. It dates back to like 300 BC. And there's also remains of the temple that dates back that far. Of course, Hindus, locals will say that this is a self-manifesting deity, self-manifesting temple that was around it. The amount of work, I mean, all the work that you see around here is from like the Chola dynasty, from like 14th century up to the 17th century. We waited for hours just for a brief darshan of Ranganathaswamy. In line, the bird pooped on my shoulder. It's really warm feeling. Thankfully, I used my last wet wipe. Still waiting in line.
But it was worth it.
Took a couple hours, but we finally got darshan of Ranganathaswamy. He's here in this Garbhagriha right here, and he is absolutely massive. We just finished taking darshan. Amazing, everything is just like amazing. I'm lucky they let us take our phones. We just can't take a picture inside, that's all.
When you enter the temple, there's like this very distinct feeling of sacredness, of awe and reverence, and I honestly never really felt this feeling before. Like, I feel it in a very small way whenever I enter any temple premises, but like not to the extent of what I felt entering and feeling that energy of these ancient temples. And here, Ranganathaswamy is a self-manifested deity, and it really does look like Lord Vishnu. And I'm saying that because sometimes people show me a self-manifested deity, and it doesn't really look like a deity or really look like anything. So I just sort of am like, okay. But no, Ranganathaswamy 100%, I looked at it, was like, that's Lord Vishnu right there. Self-manifested. It just appeared like this. We walked around the temple premises, bought prasadam, and then we had to book it back to our car because we had a very long drive to Madurai. But you know me, there's always an oddly specific thing that I have got to see. Like Jagannath Mutt wasn't enough, right? I told everyone, I was like, you guys go ahead to the car. I'm going to catch up with you in just a minute. I grabbed my husband, grabbed my daughter, and we booked it over to the Mahasamadhi of Srila Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is one of the leaders of one of the 4 bona fide Vaishnava sampradayas, lineages, if you may. So I, of course, wanted to pay my respects to this great saint.
This is the Samadhi of Ramanujacharya. Some say that what's in there is the mummified version of Ramanuja. And it's so beautiful and sacred. Oh, we didn't spend enough time here. I wish I could stay here longer. It's so beautiful.
I heard that this is actually his mummified remains, and I had to see it for myself. There is a small temple at the side of the main temple complex, and there was just a handful of people there, so I didn't have to wait super long. And yeah, it is human-sized. It was so cool. Before we started the drive to Madurai, we made one last stop at the Kaveri River. The Kaveri is one of the most sacred rivers in India and is known as the Ganga of the South. However, at this time of the year, the river was very, very far and very dried up. So we couldn't bathe like I had hoped in the river, but my husband very kindly ran all the way down to collect water for me.
We came to Kaveri because it's one of the sacred rivers. I was really excited. I wanted to dip my japa beads and put a little water on my head and collect some to take home. Got here. It's dry. Dry as heck. There's a little water. Let's see what we can do.
Padma, my daughter, found a peacock feather. This is my mom's favorite story, how she found this peacock feather and was like, what is this peacock feather doing here? How did it get here? Because she knows that there's only one person that has a peacock feather. That's Krishna. So how did Krishna get here? What could this was Krishna here? So of course we had to collect the peacock feather because it belonged to Krishna. It's very, very sweet. Overall, I really wished I could have stayed longer in Sri Rangam, and I hope to one day in the future and really see everything that Sri Rangam had to offer and everything it wanted to show me. But we only had a day. And we still had lots more places to see. So we hopped in the car and made our way to Madurai. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Check the links below to show me some love. Add me on Instagram because sometimes I post stuff there that I don't post here. And if you're on Instagram, come check me out here. I don't know. Be good to each other and be good to yourselves. And thank you for being damn good. Bye.